going through because I value that person.
Yeah.
So I need to sit down and kind of tell them what's really happening. And when I finally did, that person's like, oh yeah, I already knew, I heard that from such and such.
But never came to you
Never
directly
came to
and
me.
said, hey, what's
Never,
going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I thought we were closer to that.
Yeah.
So I thought you would have reached out to me.
That would have been the first thing. Like,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
What's going on?
And I'm asking, well, who told you
But
this?
it felt offended that you didn't call me, call me first.
Exactly,
Like, why am I
right.
hearing this to somebody else?
Right.
You could have been calling me. You thought that was that kind of friendship.
And I thought it was that. And so when I said, I was like, well, who told you? And well, everybody. And so many people have told me about, this and this that's happened.
You heard it more
with
than
you.
once.
And I was like, wow. And he never said anything to me. And so, and it was still smiley, jokey, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that was hard for me because, again, I valued that. I thought that there was a better connection. And for me, that really showed. And so there have been things afterwards that have kind of further validated that connection is not that. And I think
or any longer.
Right, or any longer. Well, then it makes you, though, question, was it ever that? Because that's how I start to get like, well, was it ever that? Or was I boo-boo?
Was
like,
I reading more
and did I do something? And, but I have got to the point of, did I do something? I'm like, people have to be grown at this point. If I did something and you don't tell me, then it doesn't exist. Yeah, I mean, because, if it's gotten you to the point where you're so stirred up and you never opened your mouth, I can't read your mind, whatever. But I think I've had a couple of those that have been a little bit different. I've been kind of like, okay, what do you do with that? Do you keep, because once you are in an authentic space, for me at least, I can't smile in your face. Like, it's very hard for me to smile when I don't really value, I don't trust. I don't feel like I can be, I don't feel like I can be, because I don't know what else then has been said that you ain't telling me about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What else is going on? Because you smiled through this really nicely.
Yeah.
And I would have never known, because you did not initiate this. I initiated this conversation. So now, it kind of is, I'm in the position now, I don't really feel like smiling. When I see you, I really don't want to do that because I don't really know what that is. Like, what is that? What is this? What are we doing?
I think it's a mirror of them. Like, I'm okay with now doing that very easily. Yeah. But I'm also guarded with my, and it depends. Like, I have, I live in a community. I only can identify with a few friends in that community.
Yeah.
But I would say, even if that for me, my situation isn't the same as those stragglers. Mm-hmm. It's people that were in my personal circle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that I feel like I would maybe mirror that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would mirror that. Because seems like it becomes a when I see you, hey girl.
Right.
Hey girl. How you doing? You're good. And then you beeline somewhere else. Yeah. That's how I would probably.
Well, that's how it's been handled. And it's I think for me, because I do value connection so much, and I'm always trying to be my most honest self. It becomes troubling, I think, when I'm thinking that we both were on that page and I find out you weren't. Yeah. And I don't, and then the curious Kenya comes out and like, whoa. What I do? Did I do?
Right.
Is this what bothers you? You never said, but that's lessened a lot. And I will say that my husband has helped tremendously because men don't do that. They don't have time, energy, nothing for that. And so he is very like, why are you even? And I'm like, still even. Yeah. It's done. Like it's whatever.
Like we had moments.
Right. I know.
We had moments.
We had lots of moments. Yes. So I'm like, and then so that was, and I think that was. I know that I feel like God is trying to teach me a lot about when you were just saying how you build that circle, and like so I'm being much more conscious of people who I allow kind of in my life and in that space. And if you know me very well, I mean, and my sister probably knows me the best out of everybody, and my husband, they both know me very well. I'm not a high maintenance girl in friendships. Like I can't, in fact, it's difficult. I'm not that girl. I'm going to call you every minute. I'm not going to do it, but I will love you to death. I love you. And I'm not going to be all up in every single, that's not who I am. Yeah. And so I feel like I have to really make that clear with my friendships so that we understand, I'm all there and you can come to me anytime, but I'm not going to be the one constantly, let's go do this, let's go do this, let's go do this. One, time wise, it would be impossible. Two, energy wise, energies are really big for me. Picking up on people's energies.
Yeah.
When I can pick up on them very quickly. And some people, it's not bad, but they can be exhausted. Their energy is exhausting. And I know if I engage this a certain way, I'm going to be flooded with this energy. And so I have to be a little bit of this and take it kind of in doses. And, but now I feel much more, and getting older has allowed me to feel very confident in, if I got 3 friends, I'm good. And they don't live anywhere near me, but they all get it. Like one of my I have 2 friends that I'm just incredible. I don't go through this kind of best friend, but we're very, very tight. And one lives on the West Coast, one lives on the East Coast. We all have families, we all have lives. We may see each other once a year, maybe. It might be longer sometimes. But when we talk,
yes,
it is completely the heart of the matter,
yes.
always.
Yes,
and
which I love.
This is my son.
That's which I love.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Hi, Tony.
Yeah, good. Okay, so what did I do? I think I did it okay. That one's good. Oh, this is okay. We're good. So you're refiguring the whole. You're good with 3.
Yeah,
as we wrap up.
I'm good with 3, and I, obviously it's more than 3, but I would say the way that I look at relationships, and I'm working on that. I know that I can be. How do I want to say it? I've never been that type of person who felt like I needed a bunch of friendships to validate, or like I was never part of sororities. I've never joined a lot of groups, things like that, because I don't know. One, I never felt like I was could relate fully, because I've always felt a little different. Like I knew my brain, and I'm thinking kind of things, and I've always been one to challenge and to I want people to think, and that's what was good about being a teacher and stuff with students. I loved that because I could push them. I could ask them questions that, and even now I'm doing this coaching with other artists, and it's really cool because I can question them, and I like that. And so I want to be able to do that also, I think, in certain friendships and in certain groups. And I know that not everybody's there, so you can't do that necessarily socially. I do. I do that, and then but I've had a lot of people get offended by that, and I think now I'm I don't want to say guarded, but I'm like, can you're wanting certain things from people. Are you giving them enough of you that would allow them to reciprocate that? Like, are you really being fair? In other words, are you afraid that they're not going to get it, so you don't give them much? Yeah. And then when they don't give you much, you're like, why aren't you giving me much?
So the expectations aren't being met. The expectations of the friendships aren't being met. Right. But that requires, and I love that we've had, we kind of full circle with the conversation, but I think that requires those hard conversations. And I've had a couple of those hard conversations with people that I want to invest in. Yeah. So it's not everybody I choose to do that with. Yeah. I pick and choose, and then it's as if we have to. I don't want to say negotiate the relationship. We have to decide what kind of relationship we're going to have.
Exactly. And at least you then have been able to confront that. I feel like I've tried that before, and it turned into a complete disaster. And so what I decided was, I was like, you know what, we're not all in the same space developmentally.
But I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that I have compartments for my friendships. I have a large group, and so I know that there are people who says, oh, I got a couple of good girlfriends, and that's great.
Right.
I don't know if they're layers or levels. I know that I have connected with people, women, friends, who I felt there was a great connection with.
Keep going.
And I felt like it was a great connection, and that, but I was willing through prayer to see if it was on this, if we were on the same accord.
Yeah.
And so I've had two. We used to have this thing a long time ago. Maybe when I say a long time ago, when I was really new to Chicago, probably the first 5 years, and we would talk about your girlfriend's application being pulled. Like, there were certain things you had to do if you were going to be part of the girl. Like, you had to show up at birthday dinners or celebrations. Like, you could not back out. You couldn't give us no male talk, man talk, husband, kid. Well, we wouldn't have kids then. But then later it became, there were some rules that we have for the girlfriends group. And so as we started getting more people into the group, you had to pretty much not go through anything. And these are, for me, I didn't pledge either. So I'm not a sorority girl. I'm not big on organizations. As I've matured, I know why I'm in an organization, my purpose, and that's the only reason why I'm there. Otherwise, it's not for the friendships, because I have those, you know, it's for the common good of the organization. But when you're dealing with, when I'm talking about my personal space, it's, we have to get on one accord. And I start, you're a teacher, I've taught. I start with the questions. Like, so what does it mean for you? Like, so what does it look like? Because you may have, I have friends, they're only children. I got 5 sisters. So if you're an only child, you don't know what sisterhood is like. Or I had another really close friend. It's a religious thing, right? She was raised in this particular religion that was pretty much that autonomized their entire time. So she didn't know what it was to share and blend. Okay, girlfriend, I'm not like that. But we can talk through this. So we got to figure out if it works. So what does it look like for you? What do I mean? And I'm good with if we come to this conclusion that we're just in 2 different places. But I can say as a girlfriend, when I truly know that, when I say that I am your girlfriend, I am saying that I am your true friend. And I'm bringing my authentic self. I give everything that I have to the table. But that doesn't mean that everything you do, I do. That doesn't mean that every place you go, I go. That doesn't mean that I have those expectations. But I know that when we have this discussion, we have one. You have to attend her birthday. Like, you have to celebrate with her. But I love her so much that I'm going to give you that. But she's also one that when I have something in my house, I expect you to show up and stay the entire time. Well, I can't give you that. So we're going to figure out these things. So I think that maybe, you know, when it comes to that, because you're such a beautiful spirit, and you bring so much to the table, that everybody needs a thinker friend. Everybody needs that challenged friend. But
I think, for the most part that happens, but it's been kind of surprising. I think that certain people really can't. They're very intimidated by the thinker friend because of where they are at. And so I've had that friendship where I was trying to build it, but you know, there was stuff that I saw that I'm like, now do I just not say anything? And I try to be silent about what I'm saying, but then it just keeps coming up, and I'm like, now I feel like I'm not being honest. So now I'm going to say, okay, I want to talk to you about something. And then I say A, B, C, D, E, and it did not go well. And so, and then when I went through kind of my stuff, that person, I think, thought that they were trying to be helpful, but what they were saying to me was quite offensive, and I don't think that they even recognized it. And so when I tried to bring it up, you know, let me tell you why that's offensive. Blah 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 blah. And again, I don't hate you or anything. I'm just trying to kind of. Then that got weird. So I think I've gotten kind of, I don't want to say burned, but I don't know. I love people. I respect people. And I like to connect. And so I'm never going to be isolated, hermit. I'm never going to do that. But I'm not going to be. I don't have to be in like you were saying. I don't have to be in everything. And I
don't love you less.
Right. And I don't love you less. And I think that what can kind of get hard. What I have found is a lot of friendships that I have made when I made during that weird time of my life where I wasn't me. I connected with the people that it's so weird to say this, but I wasn't me, so I connected with people who weren't fully them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Outgrowth.
Yeah, and so
you grow your hair out.
It was just, it's
you know
weird.
when you get a perm,
right?
And you just like, Okay, it's just got that. That's the